So last night I actually did a little bit of an experiment playing Black Ops 3 and Call of Duty World War II back to back, just so I could compare some differences and some similarities. And the one thing I saw that was strikingly similar is the spawn algorithm. It is bad. It is fucking bad, dude. Honestly, that opening clip should be proof enough. Literally got shot by someone trying to go around the corner for the two-piece, and then lo and behold, I spawn right in front of them with my sights up as they're running, so they have no chance to react, and bop, that's over. It's over with. But during this little experiment too, I noticed there was a couple things that I noticed along the course of the study. The tips and tricks that usually would pop up in between the lobbies, Call of Duty World War II doesn't have that. I didn't notice that until last night, actually. And it's interesting. I wonder why they omitted that, if that was intentional or not. But either way, playing Black Ops 3 again, especially for a good little duration of time, they both work out kind of similar. Like, it's kind of strange. Black Ops 3, it felt like it was a little bit easier to play, or at least it felt like with my playstyle I had a little bit more fun because I was able to run around and just get kind of buck and not really have to like post up in spots for too long and wait for that passerby to let me get those free kills. Even though this one was actually a pretty good match, I was actually kind of surprised. I was actually putting up like decent scores majority of the session, which never happens, especially with World War II. So I don't get what it is. I know like the claim is that skill-based matchmaking is very, very heavy in this, along with how it was in Advanced Warfare, which I can believe. But there's sometimes it's either super close, like SweatFest match, or it's almost, actually I still have yet to see like full-on blowout where like one team is just obviously overpowering the other. But even still, I've seen ones where I guess it's like 2/3 difference maybe. But it's interesting. Also with this game, it's like I've already uninstalled it 3 different times, reinstalled it 3 different times just to install it a future time, I'm sure. But this is actually the one time with like since I've got it on release that actually someone had a decent time playing it, especially like in the middle of the night, which usually the sweats are going hard as fuck, typically after about 7 or 8 o'clock. But you know, this game, like it could be so much more. It could be more, but at the same time, for what it is, like compared to other Call of Duties that are out there, it's not terrible. But the hype for Black Ops 4 is like already begun to start spinning up. Actually, no one even knows if that's going to be the official game yet or not. But even still, Black Ops 4, I can't say I would mind, especially if it's going to be a modern-based shooter. Again, that's if that's what it's going to be. Everybody, all we know so far is that it's going to be Treyarch at the helm, so I guess we'll see what they're going to do in just a couple more months here, because the reveal, they keep pushing them back, it seems, every year now. We went from being in May or summertime, typically, to now it's at the very end of spring. So I guess we're going to see what they've been working on these last 3 years, and hopefully it's something cool. And as far as things that'll be going on with the channel, there's also a bit of an update video as well. Going to be doing a lot more of full-length, in-depth reviews coming up fairly soon. And mostly like start back with the PS1 stuff just to get a base, and also considering that's one of the easiest things I have to record right now. And eventually moving downwards, I'm actually going to pick up a retro HD system where I can play some of the more like old school carts that I got and actually get HD footage for you. I know you couldn't see the thumbs up there, but yeah. So that's going to be something that's going to be coming to the channel relatively soon. I just need to just start scripting those out and putting them together. And you might see some more Call of Duty gameplays, because honestly these, like when it's on, it's on. Because this game, I guess like all of these games as of lately, they all have the same issues, but just some are slightly less obvious than others. But with this one in particular, like World War II, like you still have the glitch where people are spawning in without weapons in their hands. Like the model of the gun or whatever just won't be there. That doesn't happen in Black Ops 3 or any of the other Call of Duties that I've seen so far, at least that I've noticed at the moment. And it's just interesting how quirky these games are, and they're shipped out the door with like a lot of things that still just completely aren't right with them. And but this one in particular, there was a few things I just noticed during the course of just last night playing two different games side by side with relatively good, decent, like I guess like windows of release in between, you know, I guess 3 years. Yeah, that was the number I was looking for. But it's really interesting to see like how much did get polished comparatively between different studios, and how much just totally got just swept on, I guess, fell between the cracks, you know. Oh boy, yeah, no, it's definitely, it's interesting to see. It's a very interesting thing to see, and I'm curious what's going to be going on with the future of this. I know the DLC pack is, they're already advertising it, and there's also the map that you're supposed to get free when you pre-ordered Call of Duty, which I never got for whatever reason. That they should just put the things in the box instead of putting them on a receipt. Carrington is going to be along, I guess, offered with the DLC map pack, which is a map you should already have. So, and just with that, there's going to be more reskins of other maps from Call of Duty games. I think there was one that was original out of the 3, one of which is a remake of Downturn from Modern Warfare 3. So if that's really all they got as far as like DLC maps, like, no, y'all can have that. And there's really, I can't really say if there's a whole lot of incentive to play this, because I've already seen that. I can definitely tell too, more people are playing Black Ops 3, which was another thing that was a very quick difference, because lobbies populate faster, the games get going faster. There seemed like there was everything about the past Call of Duties, Infinite Warfare or Modern Warfare Remastered, or they have no desire to play either of those again. So that will not be part of the study at any point. Nor do I just want to put myself through the torture that is playing either of those games, because those were, ugh. Infinity War was something great at one point. I don't know what happened. I don't know what happened to them. But all things aside, maybe might see some more World War II gameplay on the channel at some point. But I'll definitely be putting up. I'll put up a Black Ops 3 video so you can see the other side of the study, because there were some interesting finds. But also the revenge spawn is very, very real. The revenge spawn is super real. And yeah, I pretty much just been rambling this entire video, so that's all I got. I'll see y'all in the next one.